welcome back to 99.9%. I'm Samantha Page, and I'm here with my friend Jada Henry. Jada is a women's leadership innovator, mentor, and she's the author of The Principles of Good Taste in Ornament and is an active member of the Mellon Grant Writing Fellowship of Equity and Inclusion. So here's Jada. I'm very excited for her. So, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Yeah. I literally went to get my flu shot this morning, and so my arm is a bit sore, but you gotta do what you gotta do out here. So I'm doing good, just hanging on and um, sort of trying to organize all of my work. I just feel like I have so much to do, but also I'm just sitting in my room half the time. So it's like, is this even work? It's a very odd space that I've been in the last 6 months, but I don't know. I'm hanging in there.
Are you doing school online or?
Yeah, I'm doing all school, all online, which is like a big shift from like being in New York and having all in-person classes, and then like when coronavirus really hit the states, I had to like get out of there. So I've been home for the last like 6 months, and I haven't seen like anybody other than the same four people
Mhm.
for so long. So I mean, I'm used to it, but I'm just like, damn, I want to see my friends. I want to see like extended family, but no, to pass the time, I redid my whole room. As you can see, like all of these colors and all of these paintings. So, and I just got a new pumpkin. I gotta show you. It's so cute, like this baby pumpkin. So it's been giving me life. But yeah, since I've been hanging there, I'm doing good. I'm fine. So many other people are in worse positions than me. So I'm blessed and I'm happy to just be like chilling and, talking to you.
Period. Are you gonna carve the pumpkin?
I think I want to get like a bigger pumpkin because this baby pumpkin is too cute for me to like knife it. Like I don't want to do that. It's so cute. So I don't think I'm gonna make it into a jack-o'-lantern, but I want to get a bigger pumpkin.
Please don't make it like don't be the person who keeps the pumpkin forever and it
No,
gets
no, I'm not. Girl, that is my mother. She will keep a pumpkin until it rots. And I'm like, Mom, I'll buy you a new pumpkin if you need it. Because this is not a cute look. I'm just like, no, she definitely is trying to have like a green thumb. And she is attached to any plant, any pumpkin, any gourd, any like mum. And she's having the time of her life. But I have to like tell her these things do not like have souls, so you can't like hang on to them forever. So she's the lady you need to speak to about that.
So I wanted to talk to you because one, you are a young author and that really inspires me as a journalist. And also, I didn't know that you were a mentor and you were in these like fellowship groups. So that's really cool. And I really wanted you to, share your story, how you got there, what inspires you, and all that. So, what are the roles and responsibilities you have, like as a mentor, and how has that changed since you've been home?
So I started off in Women's Leadership Initiative freshman year of college. And basically, I began as a mentee. And we started off with a professor who is our mentor and guide, like a guiding mentor. And then we also started off with our older Women's Leadership Initiative members who sort of helped us get acquainted with Pace University and just college life in general. And so the program was fairly new when I entered it. So um, our our founding members were really open to trying new things. And one of my friends, Marissa, she came up with the idea of having a mentor mentee program for the incoming girls who came after us. And so I was like, this is great. Like, I feel like so many college students go in really not knowing what they want to do. Obviously, they know they want to be in college and they know they want to do something, but they just don't have guidance. And college is so much different than high school in that you have an influx of classmates. Like it's not just like a local school with however many, like 100 students or whatnot. It's thousands of people, and you can feel very, very lost and very, very alone in that time. And thankfully, I didn't like feel that way going into college. And I think the reason why I didn't feel so lonely and like so lost was because I did have Women's Leadership Initiative checking up on me, and they weren't breathing down my neck, but they were there as like a pillar, as if you needed to go to someone, we're available. And I feel like so many colleges do have programs where they say, oh, come to us if you need something, but it's not geared towards young women, and it's just very broad who can come to them or what we're going to be talking about. And communication in that respect, it gets lost in communication. A lot of people feel like they're not really here to support me and my dreams and aspirations and what I want to do in college, or they have so many people coming to them that it isn't as personal, like the relationship with that club or that organization isn't as personal as, say, my relationship with WLI, because what we do is make sure that the incoming, not just freshmen, but incoming women or female identifying people who come into our club, we make sure that we enable them, and we give them the proper resources that they need for whatever major that they're taking, and also whatever they want to do in terms of extracurriculars or job opportunities. And we make sure we enable them and provide these resources from the get-go. We don't wait until they're like juniors in college or like seniors, because really, I'm going to be honest, like if you wait until you're like a junior or senior, there are so many people like fighting to get different job roles and whatnot, and fighting to be seen in a lot of these really competitive fields in terms of like jobs and whatnot. But yeah, we just gear the girls up and really root them on and make sure that we're not only just there in terms of like, you can come to us for like academic things. My bad, this is my phone. But we just make sure that we're there in terms of emotional, academic, and social support. So that's what my role is as a mentor. And yeah, we just make sure that the relationship's really personal between me and whatever mentee that I have. Shout out to Alani Weeks. She's my mentee. I love her so much. So.
I was gonna ask, like, how have you been able to be a mentor while you're away from school?
It's been really, well, it's been different in that we can't physically like connect, but we always have text, FaceTime, and then I follow her on like social media, and she does as well. And I think it's just like the physical aspect is different, because we used to like go on little ice cream dates or like go to the park or something, but I can't plan that anymore because she's in her home state and I'm in my home state right now. But yeah, I just make sure to check up on her. And the funny thing is that I came out with the Principles of Good Taste in Ornament as a book, and I put her on to my my book company, my publishing company. So she's coming out with the book soon, and I'm so happy. So I've sort of been mentoring her through that process, even though it's not within WLI, but still, as a mentor, it doesn't stop when you leave school. Like it still goes on when you're at home or when you're somewhere else. And I'm just glad that even though she is like formally my mentee, that she's like a friend that I can sort of help in terms of whatever she's doing in the world. And yeah, so it's just like I haven't seen her, which is different and it sucks, but I can always like text her, call her, and she knows my line is always open. So
That's really nice of you to put her on your publishing company because I know like a lot of people would be stingy with that information.
oh
Um,
my, it drives me when people look like that. Like, no, I wanted her to have this opportunity.
Definitely. So the Mellon Grant Writing Fellowship for Equity and Inclusion, I've never heard of that. So what does that entail? Like what does that mean?
Um, this is actually a new program, and I got acquainted with this program through my school, Pace University, and it is an equity and inclusion grant for different creators, specifically writers, for like comic book writers, screenwriters, playwrights, poets, and musicians. Whatever you write for, this grant is specifically tailored to those. I'm not going to say specifically like people of color, but it's tailored to students who don't necessarily have the outlets to other grants and fellowships. And so, yeah, I feel like it's just very inclusive.
Yeah.
That's the word that I would use for this fellowship and this grant. And all the people I'm in this grant with or this fellowship with, they're very great and they're very open to reading everybody's work and really giving us different pointers. And they're, I feel like they just root us on really well. And I feel like with the same thing with WLI, the relationship doesn't stop at like the gates of the school. Like this is something the network is very strong in this fellowship. And so basically what I do in that fellowship is it is three parts. The first part is it began in spring of 20 no 2020. It began in spring of 2020, and basically we just got acquainted with each other and got acquainted with different networks in terms of what we wanted to do with writing. And for me, I am a screenwriter, and I am an author too, but within this fellowship I really wanted to focus on screenwriting. And so we focused on learning about that industry and learning sort of what I wanted to do and sort of developing myself as a screenwriter. And then summer of 2020, we had internship opportunities. And I had two internships, and one of them was based out of Connecticut, and then the other was based out of New York. And it was really cool because one of the internships I worked for a documentary company. And so I got to, sort of learn how to make scripts for documentaries. And at first I thought it was just like a one-way street. Like you write the script, you go ahead and interview the people that you need, and then you get all of, the production elements together. But there is so much work in terms of preparing before you even write the script that goes into documentary writing. And I feel like I would never know that if I didn't have this opportunity through the grant and fellowship. And then, which is weird because I previously had worked for a documentary distribution company. And what I learned there was completely different from what I learned in this internship throughout the summer. And then the other internship that I worked with, basically, I was sitting in on different meetings with mentees for, I don't want to say the company, but whatever. They basically mentored different playwrights and writers who actually had their projects picked up by networks already. So it was really cool to sort of like jump into that pool of creative people who are already like they're seeing their projects come into fruition. And so I was like, wow, this could be me in like a few years' time. And so being in on those meetings was really, I was really grateful for that because not many students have the resources or the networking connections to get into those writers' rooms and get into those meetings and really see how the industry works. But that was really cool. But anyway, the third phase of this fellowship is the one that I'm in now, and we are just workshopping our scripts and whatever writing that we have, which is, I think it's my favorite part of this fellowship because you can actually see um, the process of your work getting better. And you can also lend your hand to somebody else's work and just really pay attention to projects that are so dear to us. And, you know, I like it because I can help people basically and sort of make their projects come to life because otherwise it'll just like stay on the shelf if you don't show it to other people or at least actively workshop on it. So yeah, that's, I know that was just me talking and talking and talking, but
Totally.
yeah, that is the fellowship. Yeah, I'll just let you take it away.
I was gonna ask, what exactly is your major?
Film and screen studies.
Okay, so I definitely understand the importance of being inclusive.
Mhm.
A mass media major, so you don't really see Black women like that looks like me at least with natural hair um,
Yeah.
in broadcast journalism, specifically travel journalism, because that's
Mhm.
what I want to pursue in. So I do think it's very important for inclusion and screenwriting, anything really with film representation is very important. So kudos for you for already like on the way to being a change maker. And I have your book and I'm very excited. Honestly, I've made it this far. I've only made it to chapter 3. But
Yes,
it's an
dude. I'm
amazing
just
read
so
and I'm
happy
so
about
proud of you. Like
I am so happy that you got the book and when you like messaged me that you finally got it, I screamed because I was just like, yay, all of my friends and family are finally able to like read my work because I've been working on it for like a year and sort of been secretive about it, but finally you guys get to see my fruit. And yeah, I'm just so happy that you guys get to read it. It was
let's
really
talk
fun.
about it. Explain. Good
Okay, so
girl.
my book is called The Principles of the Good of oh my gosh, The Principles of Good Taste in Ornament, and I wrote this under New Degree Press, and basically, it's been a year-long process, and at the beginning of the process, I really didn't know exactly what I wanted to write about, but I knew that I wanted it to be in the sort of horror thriller canon because I'm really fascinated with specifically Black creatives sort of repurposing horror and thriller because you haven't seen a lot of stories coming from um, Black people in that specific genre in terms of like film and writing. So I sort of wanted to um, take on that genre, which I did. And the book follows Anne Moore, who is a mother of two, and she's married to Mark Moore. And basically, they live in this cookie cutter suburban neighborhood and they live a very cookie cutter life. And one summer day, and she has an accident, and the family throughout the book they sort of grapple with how Anne's identity shifts after that accident, and the identity of Anne Moore as a mother and as a woman and as just a cookie cutter person comes into question within the neighborhood and the community that she lives in. And the way that Anne's identity shifts really, the way it shifts sort of, it's it's up in the air because her identity has always been in proximity to others.
Mhm.
So it's not like Anne Moore has ever been her own person. And so she's coming to terms with that, and her family is sort of forced to deal with whatever identity issues that she is going through this book. And what's really cool is that you get a perspective of someone who's not really a part of that cookie cutter suburban life, with Stasia Pritchard, who is a hired sort of like au pair or nanny. And she's there to sort of help stabilize the home, but I'm not sure that her presence really does any stabilizing. So that's where the horror and thriller comes in. And I really, writing this book was really fun because you really get to see how people's relationships function in proximity to one another, and how people and society really affect um, like how women are viewed and how they are supposed to be socially in this society, in this culture. And I feel like the reason that I wanted to sort of really hone in on the different relationships that Anne Moore has and Stasia Pritchard has in this book is because a lot of people don't take into account that in society your actions do ultimately affect other people, specifically women. And it's just not one type of woman, whether she is really suburban cookie cutter or if she's very urban and just very, you know, laid back. The way that you treat people and the social norms that you sort of put on people and pressure them into, they affect people's actions, and they do affect how people go throughout society. Um, and so, yeah, you could see that in Anne Moore and Stasia Pritchard's relationships between one another and with other characters like Mark Moore and Drew and, the other kids, Elliot. So I really enjoyed writing this because it's sort of nuanced in that way. But I'm excited to see what the readers think of it more than what I have to say about it. But
When I
yeah.
finish, I'll be submitting my review. But where can people buy the book, Jada? You have to promote.
Yes, you guys can buy the book at barnesandnoble.com and also amazon.com, and then you can buy the ebook. You can buy the ebook on kobo.com, which is kobo.com.
I'll put it on the screen.
Yes.
So what's next for Jada? Like,
What's next for me? A few things are next for me. So obviously, like, I'm workshopping a few scripts. So I'm working on a few short films that I want to produce in this quarantine world, which is really weird. Like producing anything right now. But yeah, I'm working on a few short films right now. And then Gateway Digital Magazine is something that I'm excited to launch within the next coming months. And basically, it's just an arts magazine that highlights different local art and different art from my friends and whatnot. And it's um, like a compilation of different poetry and different digital art and different photography. And I've been working on that for the last few months, and I'm really I'm glossing it up and making it really refined and nice before I put it out there. But yeah, within the next coming months, that'll be out. And so you guys can see that. And yeah, I think that's all that. Okay. I am working on a collaborative anthology right now that I can't talk too much about, but within the next year, you'll see more books coming from me. So I'm really excited for that. Um, yeah, but those are my upcoming projects, and I'm really excited for everybody to sort of anticipate it because I've just been working hard on that, and it's always it's always cool to see people receive your artistry and sort of support you, which I have a lot of good support. So I'm really happy about that.
And I'm happy that you're happy. Well, thank you so much for joining 99.9%.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Bye, guys.